Power protects itself. That is the situation of the world at the moment. For decades, we've watched several cases unfold. The rich, the connected, the untouchable, getting accused of crimes that would destroy the life of an average person overnight. But instead of prison cells, they retreat to private jets. Even when there's plentiful evidence, testimonials, and witnesses, why does the system swoop in to somehow save them? Jeffrey Epstein and Diddy have taken the spotlight, but they only scratch the surface, and there's a more important question that we neglect to ask. This video explores the unfortunate scenario the world operates under. One where wealth doesn't just buy influence, it buys freedom. Content warning. This video discusses disturbing content. Viewer discretion is advised. For this analysis to make sense, we must first go through the timeline of the two most infamous cases of our generation. Jeffrey Epstein, a registered sex offender, a convicted predator, a child trafficker. Epstein was well connected to billionaires, presidents, and royalty for years. His criminal activity began in the 1990s, aided by his close associate Ghislaine Maxwell. In 2005, the stepmother of a 14-year-old girl reported to police that her stepdaughter had been molested by a wealthy man. The little girl tells the detective that she was taken upstairs to give Epstein a massage. When Epstein came into the room wearing only a towel, he sternly told the girl to take her clothes off. As she massaged him, he masturbated and afterwards paid her $300. Soon after, the police deepened their investigation and began interviewing more girls, which led them to uncovering a disturbing pattern. Young girls, some as young as 13, were recruited from local schools, malls, or vulnerable home situations. They were lured in with cash offers to give massages, only for the encounters to quickly escalate into sexual acts. By 2006, police had identified over 30 underage victims, but when the case was handed over to the state attorney's office, things started to unravel. Epstein was taken to court, but of course, like any person in power, he wasn't alone.
Do you enjoy coercing minors into sex acts with you? Will you agree that you exchanged money for sexual gratification with at least 50 girls at your Palm Beach mansion?
At the present time, my attorneys have counseled me that I cannot provide answers to any questions relevant to this lawsuit.
Epstein brought with him a dream team of lawyers and legal advisors. Amongst them are Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, who had helped defend O.J. Simpson, and Kenneth Starr, former U.S. Solicitor General. Epstein's high-powered legal team pulled strings and cut a secret non-prosecution agreement with prosecutors. It was a plea deal so soft that it would not have made a difference if it didn't exist. Epstein pleaded guilty to just 2 prostitution-related charges and served 13 months in a county jail where he could leave during the day. Epstein paid the sheriff's office $128,000 to cover the costs of additional services. The worst part of this deal is that it gave immunity to all of his unnamed co-conspirators. It wasn't a trial, it was a cover-up dressed in paperwork. It was less a sentence, more a shield for Epstein, especially the people linked to him. After dodging justice for over a decade, Jeffrey Epstein's past finally caught up to him.
Epstein was arrested this past Saturday evening at Teterboro Airport aboard his private jet that had just landed from Paris, France.
Or so we thought.
Some breaking news right now. Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein has taken his own life while he was behind bars here in New York City. Epstein was facing sex trafficking.
It looked like justice was finally coming, but Epstein never made it to trial. On August 10th, 2019, Epstein was found dead in his cell in the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. His death was ruled a suicide by hanging, But of course, the details surrounding his death didn't add up. He was taken off suicide watch about a week before his death, despite an earlier incident where he was found with injuries to his neck. His cellmate was removed the night before he died, leaving him alone. The 2 guards assigned to check on him allegedly fell asleep. The surveillance footage from outside his cell was lost in part. Following his arrest and subsequent death, reports of a client list began to emerge. Several powerful people were allegedly revealed to have met with Epstein. On the other hand, it's been 6 years and the infamous client list has still not been released. Epstein didn't even make it to court. But what happens when a powerful person does? From the early 1990s through the 2000s, Sean Diddy Combs rose to prominence as a music mogul. During this period, he became known not only for his business acumen, but also for his infamous party culture. Even then, whispers of abusive or controlling behavior began to emerge. The timeline of formal allegations begins in 2016, when, according to a later lawsuit, singer Cassie Ventura alleged that Combs subjected her to years of physical and sexual abuse. In November 2023, Cassie filed a civil lawsuit detailing these allegations, which was abruptly settled just 1 day later for an undisclosed amount. In the weeks that followed, at least 4 additional women, former employees, filed lawsuits against Combs, alleging a wide range of misconduct. These lawsuits revealed a pattern of grooming, in which Combs allegedly used his wealth and status to manipulate and silence victims. On March 25, 2024, federal agents conducted high-profile raids on Combs' mansions in Los Angeles and Miami, and Combs was detained at a Miami airport. In May 2024, music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones filed a lawsuit that accused Combs of sexual harassment, drugging individuals, operating a sex trafficking ring, and hosting coercive drug-fueled sex parties referred to as freak-offs. This lawsuit was widely seen as pivotal, further reinforcing allegations of a systemic and organized pattern of abuse. It wasn't just a personal lawsuit. This was filed under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, better known as RICO. But here's the twist. Despite the severity of these allegations, the RICO and sex trafficking charges didn't hold up in court. Why? First, to win under RICO, a plaintiff has to show a pattern of criminal activity more than just isolated bad behavior. In this case, the judge and jury felt that the connection wasn't made. The evidence didn't show a structured criminal operation. Now, about the sex trafficking claims. These were brought under the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, or TVPA. That law requires proof that someone was forced or coerced into commercial sex acts. The allegations described abuse and manipulation, but the court found the legal threshold for trafficking simply wasn't met. So what does this all mean? Well, legally it means Diddy wasn't found liable for the most serious allegations. No RICO, no trafficking. However, like most cases with powerful people, not all details add up. If Diddy was not involved in racketeering, sex trafficking, or anything too serious, why did Homeland Security raid his home with a SWAT team armed to the bone? When several women and men have come out with damning testimonies and lawsuits, why does the court say the criminal activity did not occur repeatedly over a course of time? If Jeffrey Epstein had actually made it to court, would they have said, defendant did not sexually assault and traffic enough children over the course of several years and therefore will not be found guilty of sex trafficking? But the reality is, getting caught up in these details is a distraction, as the real issue at hand is something far worse. The question we all should be asking is, who is being protected? Why does the government walk back claims of a client list when promising to release it a few weeks prior?
I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released.
I haven't been overly interested in it. You know, it's a hoax that's been built up way beyond proportion.
We are watching in real time how power silences justice. Until we stop asking, who will fall next, and start asking, who is still being protected, nothing will change.